Local 2 investigates your safety behind the wheel. We all count on our airbags to protect us during head-on crashes. But what happens when they don't work? Well, we've been uncovering these cases for 2 years now, and yet there is still debate over whether this issue deserves a closer look from our government. Tonight, KPRC Local 2 investigative reporter Robert Arnold shows us why some crash survivors say they're looking for answers to help them feel safe.
I don't even remember me getting in a wreck. I don't remember me being at the hospital.
A week after slamming into a tree, Brianne Haltom finally woke from a coma to the sight of her husband and 1,000 questions buzzing in her head.
And I was like, what do we do, have a party or what? And he's like, no, you were in a wreck. And it all came down on me.
Last November, Haltom had a seizure behind the wheel and veered off this Liberty County road into a tree. Her head slammed into the steering wheel when her airbag did not go off.
I can feel as this side's bigger because I had surgery done. It was broke, but the rest was fractured. This side's mostly dead. I can't see outside my eye.
Haltom's family immediately knew there was a problem. Despite the front end damage, Haltom's airbag didn't go off, but the passenger side airbag did go off, saving her mother's life. What happened in Haltom's case is called a split deployment. One front airbag goes off while the other airbag doesn't.
I hit my head so bad that it took me a while to snap that it was wrong that my airbag didn't come out.
Years of crash tests show us the clear benefits of airbags. Thousands of lives are saved every year by these safety devices. Still, 2 years ago, Local 2 Investigates showed you several head-on crashes involving all different makes and models of cars and trucks where attorneys and victims argued airbags should have gone off but didn't.
It's not happening enough where it gets the kind of attention that you see that really sparks the interest of either the Congress or the media.
Houston attorney Rob Ammons represents Haltom and others whose airbags did not go off. Ammons argues the federal government is not doing enough to investigate these cases. Rather, Ammons argues the government relies on what he calls the body count method.
Once the death count reaches a certain level, it gets Congress's attention, and there's a big effort and a hoopla, one might say.
After our story 2 years ago, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety did a study and found roughly 50 to 100 people died in crashes where airbags potentially failed to deploy. That's only 1 to 2% of all fatal front-end crashes. Still, Ammons worries other cases are getting overlooked. Those involve front-end crashes where no one dies. Ammons says every time he handles one of these cases, he submits all the information to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
God love them. You give them the information, and either they're overloaded or they don't respond for one reason or the other.
For victims like Haltom, she wonders if no one finds out exactly what happened in her case, then it can happen again.
They should, they should get in big trouble, but I don't know, be a miracle if they do.
Now, attorney Rob Ammons says he got a call this morning from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration asking for more information on Haltom's case. Haltom also received a confidential settlement from the maker of her truck. However, when we talked with officials at NHTSA, they offered no comment on that independent study, but did point out airbags have saved more than 22,000 lives. In cases like Haltom's, what are called that split deployment, NHTSA says they've only gotten 48 of those cases in the last 10 years, but the government couldn't tell us exactly what happened in each of those cases.
And from your research, it sounds like there are different sets of numbers that they're working with. So doesn't that make it kind of hard to nail down exactly how often it happened?
It does. And, for example, that study that we showed you, well, that only dealt with front-end crashes where someone died, not crashes where people survived. Plus, not everyone reports these crashes to the government, meaning the data is collected by law enforcement only, with no one digging deeper to find out what happened. Also, the federal government just doesn't have the manpower to investigate every crash.
Well, we know this is a story you'll stay with.
Yes.
Thank you, Robert. We appreciate it.